On education tonight.
The Dan Yorke State of Mind program is brought to you in part by Lookout Rhode Island and Takeo Comfort Solutions.
Is there a broader conversation that we ever have other than education? I don't think so. I guess you could say the economy is, but how are they separate? They're not in so many ways. So tonight we're just going to have a work session with our esteemed education commissioner and get into what is, you know, just the update on where we are. There's a state of education presentation that is being made tonight as I record this broadcast. And for those of you who don't know, we record these shows on Thursday afternoon. You see it Friday on Fox and on Sunday at 10 on the CW, and after the 11 o'clock news on Channel 12 on Sunday night. So you probably have seen the coverage of the state of education presentation that the commissioner has made in the community. In the meantime, there's two major newsworthy notions that I think are interesting. First is the governor's initiative to make municipalities real partners, not the school, traditional school side, but the mayoral or administrative side of the municipalities. And that is not something that a lot of people on the traditional school side enjoy hearing about. Although this commissioner has embraced the idea. We'll get her candid thoughts on it tonight. And then there's the results of the survey known as Survey Works. It's a questionnaire, and unless you've taken it, you don't know anything about it. Here's Channel 12's presentation on it.
Rhode Island Department of Education's 2023 results show the highest response rates yet. More than 120,000 responses from administrators, educators, family, and students.
Providence had a higher family engagement rate than the rest of the state.
The survey shows family engagement was up by 10% compared to 2022, the highest it has been since the pandemic.
Within these groups, Hispanic and Latino and Black and African American educators and families had above average responses.
Governor Dan McKee says students and families believe social, emotional, and hands-on learning is creating a positive impact in the classroom. The survey showed students statewide in grades 6 through 12 have a 12 percentage point increase in discussing college and careers.
Most kids, regardless of where they are still very apprehensive about that next step. So I think that one of the things that indicates it, and I don't think that you're never prepared enough.
And using individual learning plans. The numbers show ILP usefulness for students increased by 9 points, up to 33%.
Making sure that the students feel like they have an education that is meeting their needs. So that was something that came across really clearly.
Both Governor McKee and Commissioner Infante-Green agree the goal going forward, attendance, making sure kids are coming to school as we continue to transition into post-pandemic learning.
We know that there's been a lot of learning loss. There's a lot to catch up. There's a lot for us to do. But what this shows is that Rhode Island is well poised to do that.
Going forward, educators can access the free tool playbook, which allows them to craft lesson plans based on their school's results.
So welcome. Great to have you.
Thank you.
Long time no see on this set. Individual learning plans are different than individual education plans?
They are.
IEPs are what we traditionally know to be, for lack of a better term, special education programs.
Correct.
Individual learning plans are what?
Every student in the state of Rhode Island starts working on their ILP starting in middle school. And it is basically a trajectory of what benchmarks they have to meet, what they have to do to be able to graduate on time, and as well as go beyond. So it's a plan that is very individualized for them. It's their educational plan, which is different than if you have special needs.
So in the old days, you kind of just went to school.
Yes.
No, seriously, you went to school, and if you didn't have an IEP, you just went to class, and you passed or you didn't, and you got an A, B, C, D, or an F on a class. You had a cumulative GPA in high school, I guess, and we're all kind of in this same metric.
Yep. Well,
so this does what to that old model? Is it a hybridy interactive tool, or is it a takeover of a system most of us remember? How does it work?
Well, it's an extension of the system that you remember. So everything else applies, but now, so Dan, we sit down with your parent or guardian, whoever that is, and we talk about all the needs that the classes you need to take, what are the grades you need to have, how do we really balance that? Maybe you're into sports, so how do we balance the sports with the academic? And your parent, I'm your parent, now I have this plan and I can sit with you and say, oh, hey, you're sort of off track here. Let's get back on track. This is really important. You need to be moving in this direction. So that everybody is very clear. Because what was happening also is that parents didn't know, and they found out when the kid was missing 4 or 5 classes. Now it was too late. So at this point, we're just starting earlier so that kids know what the goals are.
Is it more impactful in the high school area, given that there's more discretion? What's the term? There were the classes you had to take, and then there were the optional classes.
The electives.
The electives.
The electives.
Right. Yeah.
Yes, so there are electives, but it's also about what their GPA is. If you want to go to college, you have to maintain a certain GPA. You have to do certain things. So that's what that plan does. It puts you on that trajectory. And the kids actually enjoy it. They really see value in it, and that's what came back on the survey.
So the survey says, I like the notations on me.
Yes, or do you find value in this? Is this helping you make decisions? Is this helping you as you move forward? And the students really feel that it is an asset for them.
You're all excited
Yes,
about
I am.
the Providence return from the survey.
Yes.
Meaning the engagement, the answers, the number of people who responded.
Well, the number of people who responded, but also family engagement is the highest that it's ever been in Providence, but it's also higher than anywhere else in the state. And that's a big deal.
Why?
Well, I think there's an effort. We put in someone in that office. We made an office that was just dedicated to engagement. We've worked with the parents. We have a couple of parent groups that are very active, the PAC, the DWAC, and they come in and they really make sure that all the information goes out there and that the parents are involved. So we've put mechanisms in place. We also translate everything into about 25 languages, so that we're trying very hard to communicate, and it's paying off. So we're excited about that.
What is the overall percentage of students who responded to or the families that responded to the survey? I mean, it's a volunteer thing, right?
It is volunteer, so it's about 30%. It's the highest statewide. It's not.
God, it's amazing. I don't want to be the one who puts the pin in the balloon. I know how hard you're working on this stuff. To champion those kinds of numbers and engagement is, well, what is it? It's a statement on what?
Well, I think the parents are very busy. They find it difficult to come to school and to come to these events or come to what's happening in the school building. That's all we can attribute it to. At this point, we don't know because it's statewide. And I think the numbers are pretty comparable everywhere else as well. Like, I don't think this is a Rhode Island problem.
No. Listen, everything that I think you're dealing with right now is across the board. Pandemic recovery, culture wars, all sorts of trends that I think are part of just the entire ebb and flow of the country's mentality when it comes to education. Rhode Island's scores have been behind the competitor, Massachusetts. Pre-COVID, you were on your way to start to make a move on that. COVID busts everything up. Are we still eye on the competitors in terms of how we're doing business?
Yes.
Or are we just trying to fix our own deal right now and let the numbers take care of themselves?
I think it's both. So we have the eyes. The governor has set forth the 2030 where we are going to exceed Massachusetts outcomes.
Well, he always says that he wants to match.
Yes. Well, we want to exceed them.
Right.
And
well, are you on the same page in terms of that? Because goal setting is important.
Absolutely. We have met with all the superintendents at this point. We have set the goals that the governor has predetermined. We've created a trajectory on how much each district needs to move and actually how much each school needs to move to actually meet the 2030 goal that the governor has set. We are lockstep on that. We think it's amazing that we have a governor that is championing that and is also so interested in what happens in education. And you started by saying, you know, what else is more important? Other than the economy, this is it.
Yeah, but the economy is driven by this, right?
Exactly.
So, I mean, they're all, I had said years ago when this whole Massachusetts, Rhode Island thing came up, and Rhode Island was kind of, some of the high-performing Rhode Island schools were throwing their weight around a little bit. I was like, you know, hey, Barrington ought to just spend some time matching the most high-performing school in Massachusetts. I wish that you'd come up with some kind of a program where you actually assign, based on like criteria, communities to compete with Massachusetts communities specifically. So
we've done that.
You have?
Oh yes,
How?
We've had that. We haven't put it out.
So a like economic community to East Greenwich and one to North Kingstown is, I mean, do they have it?
Yes. So we did that preliminary data. We wanted to see what that looked like, because if you recall, right before I got here, when the scores first came back that they were the same assessment as Massachusetts, we came back that if we were a district in Massachusetts, we'd be in the lowest 10%.
Right, you were saying that. Yes.
Yes. And now
you took
we've
some heat
moved
for
up.
that, by the way.
Yeah, well, that was before I got here.
Yeah.
But
correct. The previous commissioner took some heat for that, but people didn't want to hear that.
No, they didn't want to hear that. Yeah, you are 100% correct. They didn't want to hear it. But what has happened is that we're now 20%. So we keep climbing and we keep moving. I think your statement earlier of we're taking care of our own business and that the results will take care of itself, I think there's some of that, but also setting our expectations. And this partnership with the governor, I think, is really important, because after the pandemic, it's going to take more than the schools for our kids to recover. We're going to be feeling the reverberations of this pandemic for years to come. Every day there's something new. There's long COVID, there's this. Our kids their emotional well-being is very different.
Why don't you get some counselors, for crying out loud? It is amazing. I mean, the national ratio on counseling is horrendous. It's like 250 to 1.
Yes.
And we're like 325 or 350 to 1, something like that, right? Aren't we in that kind of category?
Yes.
No one ever talks about it. Everybody's talking about mental health, and nobody is talking about developing the professionals to put into the system that need to be. That ratio is outrageous. How'd you like to be a guidance counselor at Hope High School, trying to figure out, you know, getting the kids to, or any high school, trying to get the kids aligned for their next steps in college and everything else, and then you've got 13 kids out there whose boyfriends or girlfriends just broke up with them, and or they got this problem, or they don't feel well, or their parents are hitting them at home, or I mean, that's like the job of the century right now, seems to me.
It is, and at least in Providence, we have added more guidance counselors. We didn't have guidance counselors in elementary school. We put them in the elementary school. We added assistant principals. The challenge that we're having, not just in Providence, is that we can't find the guidance counselors. So
meaning they're not being trained up in the system.
Correct. It is a vacancy that we have, not just in Rhode Island, because of the mental health needs. They're either working in hospitals, and even in the hospitals are short-staffed with guidance counselors. We're in trouble.
When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the governor's plan, and well, there's plenty of stuff. There's never enough time. Stay with us.
We need to recognize these wonderful things, but we also need to make sure that in the back of our mind, we know we have a lot of work to continue to do. We cannot take our foot off the gas. We need to continue moving forward, pushing forward, doing the great things that we do, because this is a district on the rise.
All right, we'll talk about since the superintendent is there, let's talk about Providence, then we'll talk about the governor's model and how you see it working. It seems like the Providence system is doing the work. The mayor is cooled his rhetoric from election time on the system. We don't have this particular mayor, at least outwardly, fighting the state at this point. You know, he said in the election that he wanted to see this thing get back on track before trying to make a lunge for control.
Yeah.
What's your projection in terms of the state operation for the city schools. Is it a reset? Is it 2 or 3 years to be handed off? Is it undetermined?
Right now, we're going to look at it in 2024, and we're going to evaluate whether it's ready to go back. There's some things that we know need to happen before that transition happens.
Like?
That the professional development that we've put in place, that we see that to fruition, that we have the system in place. So just something as simple as our HR system, we're building it from the ground up. Teachers were still handing in their timesheets in paper, driving it to the district and handing it out in paper.
So is this a more of an administrative challenge then, or is it a curricular challenge, or a culture challenge?
It's both. But we see shifts in the culture, we see shifts in the curriculum. In the survey works, what we heard from teachers is that they actually appreciate the curriculum. They find value in it. And I don't think they would have said that a few years ago. I think that there's a shift happening where they see things changing. There's some schools where you go in and it's really a joy to be there. You see the commitment of the teachers, the administration, but also the academics. Even in the survey works, the students came back and said that they're being challenged. The rigor has changed. That they feel that the rigor has gotten harder.
This middle school thing I read this week, cell phones being stored and the kids not being staring into this all day long. Even the union president was on the radio this week saying it's helping.
Yes.
What about across the board?
Well, so most of the middle schools in Providence have done it. I can't dictate that statewide. I think that's a local decision that has to be made. But we're already
Can't make a state law about that?
Well, a state law is different. We could make a policy, but right now that is really up to every district, not really in my jurisdiction. We are seeing positive effects in middle school. The kids actually wanted it, many of the kids, because there's that cyberbullying, they're not paying attention. In some of the classes, the teachers would take them away and give it back to them at the end of the day. But now they have these pouches, and I don't know if I just went to a concert not too long ago, and they put my cell phone in a pouch.
Right.
This is the new thing.
Did you go to Taylor Swift?
No, I didn't go to Taylor Swift. I wish.
It's like, what up with that? I'm going to investigate that. How you got tickets to Taylor Swift? All right.
I wish.
All right.
I wish.
Well, that's a good thing. So, to be determined in terms of the state releasing the Providence school systems back to city governance?
Yes, we have to see improvements, and we have to make sure that it is strong. One of the things that we saw, there was this attempt with Hope High School at one point. And then when it went back to the traditional structure, it all sort of fell apart. And we don't want that to happen. And we have plans for all the schools, and those plans need to come to fruition. So for example, Hope High School is going to be our first performing arts school in Providence, which is really exciting. One of the other schools, written by the principal, teachers, parents, and community leaders, there's going to be a STEAM school, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. They're very different things. The school system is very different. And you, I think, went to a lot of our sessions early on. And I have to tell you, yesterday I was in a school where we had vending machines that were full of books. And the kids earn coins and they get books, and they're excited about getting books. That didn't exist. We have clinics in 3 of our schools in Providence where I have to share the video. They look better than any doctor's office, but there's mental health support. There is, identifying kids that are pre-diabetic. It's all the before. Because, right now, the mental health needs are off the charts. And the kids need the support, as well as the adults, I have to say. Everybody needs the support. So we have that across the board now in Providence. It's really exciting. It's a much different place.
All right, so Providence is in a unique position. So too are cities and towns across the board here. A note on what the governor's trying to do next. So in the meantime, the governor is going with this plan that models what he did as a mayor in Cumberland. And that was controversial, and still, to this day, the school officials in Cumberland have an axe to grind with him about about a municipal model in education. He calls it 365, E365, meaning he wants to see educational assistance, aid, orientation, facility available in every community around the calendar year. We only have a couple of minutes. We could do 2 or 3, 4 or 5 shows on this. Are you bullish on this, or did he serve this to you as dinner and said you're going to like it?
No, that's not his style.
No, but I mean, you're playing an important role here. You're committed here, and every administration's got a different idea. I mean, are you choking it down, or do you really like it?
No, I like it because so I think people have to remember we're coming out of a pandemic. Some kids have missed so many hours of school. The governor's committed to 1 million hours of learning, additional learning. It's going to take all of us. It's going to take, houses of worship. It's going to take the municipality. It's going to take all of us to get us back on track. It is not just going to be the school system. It can't be. It's just not something that
it's funny,
the
school officials say we need help, and then but they don't like this kind of help necessarily, right? So it's like, which help do you want? But this is not mandatory, and this is optional.
No.
Some 70% of the communities reportedly have signed on in some way, shape, or form from the mayoral or council side.
Correct.
It'll take a while to see if this thing actually sticks, right?
Yes, but what he has done, he has been very thoughtful because he's looked at all the data. We have all these metrics. And he's met with the mayors and said, hey, here it is. And many of them are surprised by the data.
You'll have, give me a preview of tonight's presentation. We only have 30 seconds. State of education is what in Rhode Island?
State of education is on the move. We're making change. We're making progress. But I will say, Dan, one thing that I am worried about is during the pandemic, a lot of the kids that were home that are coming into our kindergarten system, our pre-K system, did not get early intervention, did not get services, and we're going to see numbers quadruple from what we're seeing so far of students that have these needs.
That's a whole nother bailiwick.
Yep.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for your good work.
Absolutely.
Final word. We're going to come back. Stay with us. Yeah, so listen, this education situation that we have is an ongoing concern. I don't know how we get proud over the idea that 1 out of every 3 families actually engages a survey about interacting with the system. You feel good about that?
No.
We'll see it. No, you're done.